Welcome back to Analog Horror Nights. How are all you vital idols doing? You know what we do up on this show. We analyze analog horror. We check it out. Always first time watch. And so this is a super special one because when we started doing Analog Horror Nights, we started off with Vita Carnis. By the time we finished it, Season 2 was still ongoing. Now Season 2 is finished. It's going to be an awesome time checking out Season 2. And we just got a Hypno raid. Shout out, thank you so much. Yeah, started the show a little bit late because, you know, we've been having fun on SNH first and foremost. SNH always comes first, and then we get down on some analog horror. So shout out Hypno for the raid. Thank you so much. Bigot Army coming in hot. What's up? Let's see who's all up in this bitch. Vex Electronica is here. Gal Carrymon. We got the secret final boss. Alex Darby is here. Travis Soul Arts, I think you might be new, or if not, it's your first time. Yo, what's up, man? Scotty G, Eagle Lord, Luigi Frankenbob is here. Shout out to Luigi. The True Asset Warrior, Yamato, Felsteph, what's up? Again, Bigot Army Raid coming in hot. Thank you so much. Lucky Boy, Real Life Faint Monkey coming in with $1.49, whipping the banana out the gate. Johnny, Sage of the Six Paths, Sebrew, Mr. Blue, Cthulhu. I like how it rhymes. Ola is here. Weenie for Sweeney. The Real Life Fake Monkey coming in with a two-banger. I still don't like that. I agree with you. Hey, look. Broken clocks, right? Broken clocks right twice a day. That's what we'll take this as. A broken clock being right twice a day. Yeah, man. What is up to everybody? Fugly Pug. I dig that name. Melphis Sky. Blue Octopussy. Alright, crew. Here's what we're going to do. I'm going to give you a quick rundown of Season 1. Because tonight, we're starting Season 2. Season 2 is 6 episodes long. We're going to do the first 3 episodes tonight, next 3 episodes next week. So, for those of you who don't know what Vita Carnis is, back in the 30s, we discovered this, like, living meat, fleshy, sort of plant-like creature called the Crawl. And from the Crawl, these creatures started spawning. Some of them kept as house pets. Some of them are these evil, like, just carnivorous beasts that mimic humans. And it's done through this, this documentary found footage style with government PSAs. It's wild. And it ended with some massive government conspiracy in, I believe, Canada. Because why the fuck wouldn't it be Canada? So, we're going to jump right into it. It's Analog Horror time. Let's go.
Today, something has happened within the restricted zone, where a large group of cultists have been apprehended. Several teams of military personnel have arrested some high-ranking cultists and have unmasked their identities to the public.
Alright, hold on. Let's go back. Let's read that document. Yeah, the Season 1 ended with some sort of paramilitary team breaking in and taking out the cultists. Military veteran Simone Vanguard found to be the head of the secret organization. Simon and... It looks like it's redacted. During the raid of Landburn Mall, when he was, I assume, because we're getting all fuzzy, found leading high-ranking cult members in a ritualistic sacrifice. Custody of Simon was... Oh, I wonder if we can change the frames. Does it clear it up? It doesn't seem like it does. He was handed over to police by Carcass, where he will face trial for his crimes. Yo, what up, Tiger Rex? Keep member for 1 month. Shout out. You see the video game based on the Analog Horror series? I do. I have it wishlisted, actually.
Personnel have arrested some high-ranking cultists and have unmasked their identities to the public. Shockingly, several of these members are well-renowned politicians and high-ranking members of multiple governments across the globe.
Many documents have been released providing sufficient proof of the atrocities that were being committed. Some of these crimes include murder, kidnapping, torture, ritual sacrifice, and the list goes on.
The members are...
Oh, I want to point something out to y'all. We're going back. Notice that right there. Motherfucker's Canadian. If there's any hidden message in this Analog Horror series, it's that you don't fucking trust Canadians.
List goes on.
The members are found guilty of deliberately providing false information to the public in an attempt to cause harm.
The New Trier Company has been found to have very significant ties with cultist activities and has been shut down. All New Trier products have been deemed hazardous for consumption.
Cultivation farms are facing pressure to shut down.
Public unrest grows as...
Alright, so for those of y'all that missed Season 1, This is a mimic. It eats humans. The more human flesh it consumes, the more it can blend in with other humans. They're intelligent, but they're more like an intelligent animal. It says mimics left unchecked, so it makes me wonder if the government is intentionally doing this, because like there's obviously some sort of tie to the government, right? Like what we believe right now is this species, which was discovered in the 30s, has been on Earth for a very long time, and again, their lethality is dependent creature to creature. But what with the ties to the rituals and the government, I think there's something more going on. Panthro member for 24 months. Shout out. Homie's going gear 5. 2 years already. Man, time does fly. Well, thank you so much for 2 years, brother.
The new Trier cult case brings more crimes that were hidden away to light.
The people are outraged by how little was actually being done.
They demand that something be done to handle the Carnis species.
Riots appear in the streets as protests
Secret Final Boss, shout out, member for 5 months. Y'all are fucking legends, bro.
begin to turn to grit.
Our leaders were plotting against us. Who we trust? What happens now?
Alright, now here was the big cliffhanger of season 1. You had these sphere-like orb things, which were... These are one of the creatures, and it's the creature we have no information on. I don't even remember its name, it's been that long. But these little globes, these little spheres, are some sort of sentient life like all the rest of the Vita Carnis. But we know nothing about them.
Welcome to Magister's Wonder Show. I am the Magister, and get ready to explore all of the world's wonders. Today, we are learning about the circle of life.
Alright, Dr. Marshall Trados, he's the head director and the Doctor of Carcass. Progress report for Vita Carnis. It's from, so this date is, this is in the 90s, early 90s, 1991, June 30th.
Test report number 4. We still know very little about the nature of the entities. There are 7 singularities in total. Each singularity is roughly 1 meter in diameter. They are made of an unknown material, although it looks and feels very similar to glass. We are unable to sample it in fear of causing potential damage. The material is very dark in color, but has red shimmers of light swirling inside. There are some hints of other colors present, but is mostly dominated by the red. Each entity hovers above the ground in a stationary position. Each entity hovers above the ground.
Is there anything... Oh. You always got to check frame by frame to see if there's anything that we can see. Like, it almost looks like, and this could just be some pareidolia, but it almost looks like we got some eyes, like a head and some eyes here. Like maybe there's some sort of entity within it. But I could, again, it's just
the stationary position, although they can be moved with relative ease. Our equipment can detect some subtle pulses of energy in rhythmic but random patterns.
I agree, Tiger King, the voice is a bit too try-hard in that.
We don't know what they are. We don't know if it is breathing or communicating. We don't even truly know if they are even organic. This is nothing new, just confirming what we already know. Our first experience...
What would I do if I saw it? Now, are you talking about, like, the spherical objects themselves? What would I do if I saw one of those? Or is there, like, or just any of these sort of entities? Because if it's that spherical object, I mean, I'll be real, man. Y'all know that in real life I'm religious. That shit look demonic as fuck. I would say my prayers, I would go the opposite direction. Now, some of these monsters aren't lethal. There's some motherfuckers even keep as pets and whatnot. Some are using, like, waste disposal. That'd be chill. But those spherical ones, that's some unholy shit.
Experiments didn't give any interesting leads. The most we got was some interference with electronics, especially when there is more than one kept close together. But the experiment we conducted showed extremely significant results. The experiment played out like this. In test chamber 1, a live cow was released into the chamber with V1 for an extended period. They were left together for 24 hours. The test showed minimal results from the entity and an increase in stress from the cow. Next, the body of a cow was put into the chamber with V1 for 24 hours. The results were extraordinary.
Well done, Alex. Okay, so it's looking like this mass of tangles and whatnot, and that looks like the crawl. That looks like the sort of again, fleshy but also plant-like stuff that all these creatures stem from. So these are potentially what actually created the crawl, so they might not be natural.
5 hours after the whole body had been ingested, concentrations of Kroll rapidly grew from several points from within the chamber. What this could mean, it rewrites everything we knew about the...
Yeah, so here's the original. So we thought that there was... The crawl was where everything came from, and it spouted all these little dudes, spouted the meat snake. We all know how much we love the meat snake. You know, it spouted the mimics. We've got these are like the harvesters, I believe they're called. These are the I think these are called the titans. And these are like the tormentors or the controllers, something to that effect. But they probably have to rewrite this to where this is at the top, and then it spawns the crawl, and then the rest come from there. Would be the
Vita
guess.
Carnis species.
Then allow the crawl to grow out here.
Hold on.
Then allow the crawl to grow out here. First, a young larva hatches from within its egg. It will roam around and find food to help it grow and grow. Once they are big enough, they transform into a pupa, and after some more time, they transform into an adult beetle. The adult beetle will go out into the world in search of food.
Alright. This is Dr. Rhodes Series, Crawl Specialist, Head Cultivator. This is from Vita Carnis. This is and a month later. So this is July 31st. This report's from a month after that previous one.
Audio log. Progress report for crawl samples.
DEI hire.
Cultivation has been successful. So far, we grew them with 3 specific environmental factors. 1 is our control group, 2 with access to additional nutrition sources, and 3 with exposure to radio signals. Group 1 grew on par with standard crawl samples. No distinct abnormalities. Group 2 grew at a faster pace than the control group, as expected. No distinct abnormalities. Group 3 grew against its normal pattern, weaving its way toward the radio. Once the device was claimed, it switched to usual growth patterns. Again.
Alright, that changes up the lore a little bit.
No distinct abnormalities. In conclusion, the samples that were grown in V1's test chamber.
Yo, Alex Darby coming in with the 10 gifted Words of Paradise memberships. Shout out, you absolute legend. Thank you so much. We don't usually play clips during this show because my clips are more, you know, they're funnier. I don't like to break the immersion. But I do got this little depressing one for you. Again, shout out, man. Truly appreciated. Thank you.
Chamber don't seem to differ from others grown from other sources.
What up, Jake?
Still, we will continue with more factors and further groups, just in case. There have been some developments in the propagation group. V1 samples have seemingly been able to produce nodules at a slightly quicker rate than wild samples. Control groups show that V1 samples begin node development a few days faster. More time will be needed to say for sure.
Now these nodes here, this is what the creatures spawn from.
As for the nodes themselves, there aren't any distinct abnormalities. We have successfully hatched a dozen Carnish juveniles, several trimmings, 2 meat snakes, and even 1 mimic. We will be sending them to the enclosures after everyone's reports get sent out. End log.
And then is ground into a fine mint and is now ready for the...
So if I'd, maybe I'm reading into this too much, but that's kind of the point of doing analog horror. All these actual documentary clips, the one that have nothing to do with the Vita Carnis, seem like they're showing us the food chain, the circle of life and whatnot. So if they're weaving in the Vita Carnis creatures and lore within this, I would say this is like their way of trying to show us that there's some point at which the Vita Carnis exists in the food chain, or whether they're going to usurp the food chain. I'm not sure, but again, it seems like it's got to do with that cycle of life. Yo, and Jake, thank you so much for becoming a member again, man. It's been a minute. I appreciate you, homie. Okay, trimming specialist. So, Dr. Fawn Benitro. Now, trimmings are the little ones. A lot of people keep trimmings as pets. They're not particularly dangerous. Oh, they are ugly little fuckers. So this is from a month after that. This is the progress report on Vita Carnis. Trimmings are interesting little guys, and they are the most common of the Vita Carnis entities.
Audio log. Progress report for trimming colony. Significant progress in learning the social patterns of a group of trimmings we have been keeping together.
Yes,
A new batch of
Scotty.
juveniles were added to the main colony at the beginning of the new progress report. They were accepted into the community immediately. No conflict or rejection observed. They did provide the circumstances to document more of their interactions. Trimmings communicate through a series of vocal cues. Colony members meeting the new batch with squeaks and squeals. They also are not afraid to show us when they are upset. Trimmings also use some physical displays as well. For example, trimmings do a chewing or chatter motion with their mouths when they are happy or interested.
So yeah, this is a very good size comparison for your average trimming. Yeah, I mean, you got the soccer ball next to it. So imagine, again, they're like maybe the size of like a small dog, right? You know, like a poodle or something to that effect. Why anyone would keep something like this, that's basically this living flesh, as a pet is wild to me. But I also don't get why people keep hairless cats. So
Interested in something. The experiment that we performed was to explore the extent of their communication skills. The test went like this. We took one of the trimmings and had them in place in a modified enclosure. A speaker would play 2 separate audio cues. A positive cue would play, followed by a treat, and a negative cue, followed by a small spray of cold water. We did several rounds of both audio cues to condition the trimming's response.
As for whether I still use VCRs or watch old tapes or whatnot, I was actually quite big into that for a while. I don't have a VCR currently, and so it's something I haven't done, but it's definitely a hobby I'd like to get into. Don't like that sound. notice how that time the sound, the negative sound effect, he squealed before the water or whatever even touched it. So, like, it's learning, it's adapting. It knows that sound means punishment is coming.
After the test, the trimming was released back to its colony. And after a few hours, we tested how much the trimmings communicated. Another speaker was placed near the colony's enclosure, where we played the same audio cues. It is incredible to see how layered their social interactions can be.
Wait, okay, so...
Incredible to see...
So it's almost as if that one trimming that went through the experiment was intelligent enough to teach the other trimmings what these sounds mean, because when they hear the negative sound, they all recoil.
It is incredible to see how layered their social
Or they're a hive
interactions
mind.
can
That's a
be.
good point, Scotty. That's true.
Although, we tried something a bit bizarre. We found out that a wild colony had settled around the facility recently.
Well, I think we're about to answer the hive mind question, because if a wild colony settled recently, then maybe they'll take the sound effect devices out of the wild colony, do the same thing, and see if they recoil or react the same way as the ones that are in the control group.
It was strange what we did. It was a long shot. We set up a radio device near the wild colony and near ours. We linked both devices up and played the cues.
Alright, yup. Looks like the hive mind was correct. Good job, chat.
There's many dangers out there in the world. There are many predators that would love to have beetles for a snack.
Bird.
And unfortunately, not all beetles make it. Yes, it is sad, but that's how the circle of life works. But look, one of the beetles has laid eggs. And once the beetle's eggs hatch, the beautiful cycle starts again. And life continues on.
Alright, so that was a nice, well, let's see if there's anything at the end. Doesn't seem like it. Okay. So that was a nice little reintroduction, just gets back into the world of Vita Carnis. Because again, that was the first episode of Season 2, so let's see where it goes from here. Alright, revealed progress. What up, Fallen Reborn?
Now only the most beautiful, only the most unique specimens will be moving forward.
There are lots of fossils hidden on the Earth, and plenty make their way into rivers and streams. You can look for them too.
Okay, the Recreation Project Manager. Progress report on Vita Carnis. This is from March of 1992, so we've moved up quite a bit in the timeline. It's like almost 6 months difference.
Audio log. Progress report on the...
Yes, we should absolutely learn about the unknown.
Meat Snake Recreation Project.
We talking meat snakes. We know that's Atreus' favorite.
From our previous report, the juvenile meat snake we selected was grown in a
Okay, I don't think Atreus likes juvenile meat snakes though. That goes back to Jared Fogle.
standard captivity cell until maturity. The specimen we had selected was now an acceptable size for the project to begin. The specimen was moved into restraints. Twice a day, we fed it fresh meat, scraps, roadkill, making sure that it received the necessary materials like bones and organs to grow. 4 days into feeding, the specimen's mood mellowed out. The usual intimidation display was now a patient eagerness. It seems that the specimen now understands that we are feeding it.
Do some of them have more legs than others for some reason? Someone with 8 legs and another with 6. They're talking about the trimmings. I noticed that as well, and I didn't know if it was maybe just like an angle thing. Maybe they all have 8 legs, but the back 2 are, you know, smaller and more obscure. But yeah, I saw the same thing.
11 days into feeding, the specimen has slowed down immensely. It has also been occasionally rejecting food. It looks like we have been overwhelming it, not giving it enough time to properly digest and implement the material. Feeding has been reduced to once a day, but with an increase of portion size. 19 days into feeding, the meat snake has almost shut down entirely. It no longer reacts to external factors. It still accepts food, but with assistance. A makeshift mechanism was made to help the feeding process. Favorable results have begun to show.
I can't believe I'm saying this, but I'm feeling bad for the meat snake, bro. Like, this is, I get that these are some sort of, like creature, but it's still an animal. This seems fucking abusive, almost. I don't like
The
this.
hue of the specimen's skin has been turning shades darker. Sampling period seems to be approaching sooner than expected. Day 21 into feeding. The specimen has reached all the required criteria to begin sampling. We managed to obtain a skin patch intervention.
Whoa, hold on.
Managed to obtain a skin patch intervention.
What the hell could that be? That doesn't look like just a camera glitch. And the audio fucks too when that happens? That's...
We began with cold resistance. The typical meat snake skin can hold its integrity up to negative 30 degrees Celsius. The specimen sample survived down to negative 100 degrees, even maintaining flexibility.
I don't like the way that looks. That's gross.
Next, the heat resistance test. The sample was able to withstand impressive temperatures. We were only able to bring the temp up to 3,000 degrees Celsius before we had to bring
only 3,000 degrees fucking Celsius? Okay.
in new equipment. We used some welding equipment and determined that the sample's limit was capped at around 5,000 degrees Celsius. Sample testing was interrupted by a peculiar event with the specimen. Personnel during the routine feeding found that the meat snake had escaped its restraints.
Yo, if the meat snake about to seek revenge on y'all motherfuckers, I ain't even gonna nah, you brought this on yourselves.
By performing mitosis. The 2 organisms were simply wandering the lab at the time. The project has been halted for now, and the 2 meat snakes have been moved back into their original enclosure. We are preparing more tests at the start of the new process report. End log.
Is there anything right before it cut to... No? Okay.
You can make your own sieve at home. The mesh will catch large
bifurcation is in
debris,
GG Club.
allowing smaller things to pass through. But you can add more layers with different mesh to catch more things.
Yeah, it's feeding slow down so it could divide. Yeah, I think you're entirely correct.
Lovely contestants so far, but there can only be one winner. And this year's winner is... Patty!
That's interesting. Is this a variant? We've never seen one with black skin, have we? I wonder if we're starting to see variants in the Vita Carnis species. Whoa, hold on. I saw some words there. Alrighty, let's see if we can just do a little screenshot-a-roo there. I doubt this will work. I bet it's too blurred, but let's find out. Right to left is Israeli. I've seen crawl parts with nearly black skin. Have we? Yeah, maybe parts of the crawl. Okay, fair enough. That's true. So maybe, like, it's similar to an albino aspect. You'll get, like, the black growths. Yeah. Give very aggressive forensic style enhancement pass, grayscale, extreme contrast, sharpening, edge enhancement versions. Basically the best case scenario for trying to recover the text from the image this dark. You can now clearly see the text is arranged in multiple lines. Individual letters themselves are not recoverable. The image is too low contrast to crush the pixel. Alright. Yeah, I didn't think we'd be able to get much off this, but it was worth a shot. Alright. Oh! Get into the Mimic Expert now. Let's go. This is one of the craziest fucking creatures in the pantheon of the Vita Carnis creatures.
This is my audio report for this month's progress, albeit a little bit late by a few months. Anyways, it's been a bit slow, but there have been some fascinating findings. I guess I'll start with the juveniles. Feisty fellas, already chock full of hunting instinct. Their hunting patterns are similar to other ambush predators. They will wait and then catch their prey with the element of surprise.
Imagine one of these motherfuckers hunting you, bro. Like, these things are probably the most visually terrifying aside from the Titans. And again, the more human flesh they consume, the closer they will look to humans. They have the intelligence to wear human clothes to blend in better. Like, these motherfuckers are gnarly.
Surprise. They prefer to hunt prey smaller than themselves, stuff they can take down easily. But once they are older, they start getting a little cockier. But they have the killing technique to back it up. They usually aim for the throat or neck to deliver a kill as fast as possible. But once they metamorphosize into their adult form, it's harder to determine their patterns.
Bro, you gotta have balls. I don't give a fuck how sedated that thing is. You gotta have balls of steel to be alone in a room with a predator like that. Yeah, you couldn't pay me, son.
The juveniles we do manage to get into their adult form don't last very long. They simply hide away, rejecting all food we provide. As it is well known.
Okay, so they don't eat food, they don't hunt. They don't want to be fed. Like, the hunt is part of their life force.
Adults only eat human flesh. The adults we have all die to starvation. The best candidates for research are the ones we capture out in the wild. They last longer, most likely due to them already having food and nutrients in their systems. It's not something I dwell on too often. I am thankful for the ones they bring in for me. I got several adults, even a few humanoid ones.
Yeah, there we go. See, look at this. These motherfuckers had to eat a lot of humans if they're starting to look like this. Obviously, the eyes are fucked up, the mouth's still there, but, like, this dude puts on a hoodie and a ball cap pulled down, he's gonna fool some bitches.
We're able to understand a bit of how they work before they eventually whittle away. The hunting tactics of the adult forms change drastically from their previous form. Hunting now takes much longer as they observe and watch their prey. They are very cautious, waiting for the best opportunity. They take advantage of anything they can to get an upper hand. Their most popular tactic nowadays is climbing inside of furniture. freshly metamorphosed adults are roughly 160 centimeters in height, but can fold themselves tightly into small spaces. One was even found inside one of those old-fashioned mannequins. And older adults still fit exceptionally well in tight places. It's funny, we didn't even know they could do this until the late 70s. They weren't even called mimics then. They were called, butchers. They changed it because its name better matched the description of characters in some kid's board game.
5'3"? Thank you very much for that. I was actually curious, Secret Final Boss.
Anyways, the hunting tactics beyond this are confusing to say the least. All depictions of their patterns have been wrong in one way or another. Ever since that public announcement in '86, they keep changing it. In reality, it is almost completely random. Each case in the wild is different, and it's hard to determine why in captivity. Plus, human testing is a no-go. Even though I volunteered myself, I feel so close to figuring it out. Anyways, I'm getting ahead of myself. The next stages are even harder to... Wait, how long do these tapes have to be?
Now, again, I'm curious how this is going to tie back to that cult that they busted at the end of the first season. They mentioned at the beginning of this, like, what is the... I mean, I assume they're worshiping the Vita Carnis, but is it an infection? Do they just look at it as some sort of godly being, like look at the crawl as like the next step in evolution? It's very Bohemian Grove that all those politicians and whatnot were attached to it. So there's got to be a tie-in. You say the noise is annoying at higher volumes. I'll drop the volume a little bit. There we go.
Look, this one would have fallen through our first sift. There are plenty of other fun things you can find as well.
Oh no, my sieve isn't working.
Looks like there's a hole in your mesh. Make sure your mesh isn't damaged, or else something might slip through.
Yeah, I'm actually not super familiar with the SCP universe. I've heard of it, and I've like an idea of what it is, but it's not something I've looked into a whole lot. Yeah, why would there be a minimum time limit on a research tape? That is an interesting question. Alright, so November 27th of 92, footage of the incident with V1 involving the cleanup team in Test Chamber 1. Well, that sounds like someone fucked up.
Personnel to room 21.
What happened?
My leg's caught. It's bad. It's bad. I'm bleeding.
What do I do?
I can't reach.
What do I do?
Help me down, please. Please.
We need medical assistance in Test Chamber 1.
Oh, God.
Stay calm. Help is on the way. Just try to stay
Damn
still.
it. Oh, God.
All right, we're here. We're going to help you. Lower the ladder slowly. This is going to hurt. Okay, hold still. Ready? Now!
Oh yeah, all those things about fossils, were these things always here and we dug too deep? That's so like the lore says they were discovered in the 30s. That doesn't, we don't really know how far back they go prior to that, so you could be onto something.
What's happening? What's happening to it?
Get him out of here now!
Get him out!
Whoa!
What's happening to it?
Get him out of here now!
Get him out!
Alright, hold on. We seen any images in this? Like, it's emitting some sort of field. The fuck is going on? Alright, I know it'll be a lot to go through, but we're going to go frame by frame, see if we can see anything in that. Alright. Let's get through some of this static glitch stuff, and then, yeah, here we go. It said they reacted differently. Oh, that was bright. Said they reacted strangely to radio waves. So I wonder maybe like the testing equipment was giving off some sort of radio wave frequency and to the point where it got agitated, or maybe it was just dormant, waiting for a time to strike. I'm not really seeing anything in this that gives anything away. The intercom. Yeah, the intercom is definitely a thought. Do we know what the orb thing is? Not really. All we know is that the orb is what spawns the crawl. Beyond that, we don't know much about the orb. But when they placed a dead cow carcass next to it, within several hours crawl began spawning from the cow's body. Yeah, I mean, this magnetic field or whatever it's giving off is obviously just, this camera's fucked. Which makes it difficult for us when we're trying to get any sort of information. Guy cuts finger right, they lop off his hand, and the orb reacted to the blood or now dead flesh, or did I hear it wrong? Well, it says something happened with his leg, but we don't know what happened with his leg. So we don't know if, the way it sounded to me was like, this orb creature here almost like psychically did something to his leg, but I'm not sure. It's been very vague. Well, damn. That's the end of that one, too. Shit, we've only been going for 45 minutes. We might do all of Season 2 tonight. We'll see. We'll see. This next one being 15 minutes long. We actually might not. We'll see. Yeah. We'll probably keep it split up into 2 episodes. Okay, well, this one's already starting off notably different. Meat that grows and behaves like fungi, as far as using dead organic matter as a food source. Yeah, exactly. So, this seems like it's like the inside of one of those spherical objects. Whoa, hold on. We ain't letting that pass by. What was that? Come on, keep going. Alright, here we go. Does that almost look like it's got angel wings to you guys? Like, looks like some sort of humanoid body with like, I mean, maybe I'm seeing shit, but it looked to me like I'm seeing angel wings coming off this motherfucker. Yeah, okay, it's clearly not just me. Matt Funcool says a fallen angel. Having too much to cover is way there and not enough. That is very true. Is that the plasma figure from cave paintings? That would link back to the idea of these being prehistoric. Again, we just found them in the 30s. That doesn't mean they weren't always here. Says something about lowering down ladders. The orb is in a pit of some kind. No, well, what I think it is, what I was imagining in my head was the orb had him like, was using some sort of like telekinesis or psychic power or something to like pin him to the ceiling. Because the orb is in a testing room on a platform. But yeah, okay. As long as I'm not the only one that sees a humanoid figure here. Or maybe several humanoid figures? I'm sure there's some meaning here, but man, fuck if I know what it is. This is crazy. It's a mouth? Baphomet? I think I get what you... I see what you mean when you say mouth, because it looks like rows of teeth, but yeah, I don't think that's what it actually is. But yeah, flip it upside down, and you're right. That is very Baphomet. You might be onto something. Well, we're gonna... Oh, whoops, wrong one. Yeah, and you flip it upside down, you definitely get the Baphomet. And then, yeah, Jake, you say, is that a temple at the bottom? I know what you're referring to. So let's flip it back the way it was. Yeah, this right here, it looks like some sort of temple or altar. Yeah, I completely agree. Oh, actually, not only is it Baphomet, but, okay, alright, hold on, here's my theory. Look behind the Baphomet. Look at these individuals here. Shoulders, head, shoulders, head, shoulders, head, shoulders, head. And there was that cult that was, arrested, you know, that cult that was all arrested and whatnot. So maybe this is, yeah, exactly, Gal Carrymon. I think this is the cult. I think the yellow that we're seeing behind it are the cult members that were praying to this. I do think this is some sort of altar or some sort of temple or something. Let's flip it back the way it was. Because, I mean... Maybe I don't really see anything like this, but when you flip it upside down, I think you guys are right. Well, so this is the image as it was on screen. So if we go back to the video, this is the image as it is on screen. And then when you invert the image, you get what looks to be some sort of demonic hornhead thing, cult members. The potential altar or temple type thing is the only thing that, you know, becomes upside down. As far as what it means, I mean, this could be some sort of, like, manifestation of what the cult was praying to. What the religious cult believes in. Some sort of summoning. Maybe there's something biblical about the crawl. I doubt the upside down is what we need to look at. I don't know, man. This seems pretty intentional. And analog horror does this stuff all the time, where they invert images. They have, you know, certain frames mean things like... Yeah, I guess we'll find out. That's, yeah, good catch.
All the entities are freaking out. The system can't handle all of this. Turn off the power. Sure, do it.
And we're back to the nature documentary stuff. All right, well, this has got to tie in somehow. It is cool. All right, hold on. We're going by... All right, one by one. Alright, so we got some dunes, some more animals. We got whatever the fuck this is. Some sort of fleshy growth. Alright, these are like maybe majorly affected areas. It said something. Do you mean we might not be to that yet? Because you're talking about the national so yeah, this is one of the institutes that was doing research into the Vita Carnis. Okay, yeah, so yeah, this goes back to season 1 when we were tracking the movements of these creatures. That's just ominous. Okay, so we got this graph. Now, I could be wrong, but it looks like this is 1970. So 60, 50, 40, 30, 20. So like this is like starting in the 30s, you just get this massive spike, and this is the rise in the creatures over the years. Just before the glitch Oh, you mean audibly it said something. All right, hold on. Yeah, we'll do that. We'll go back. Alright, let's see if... Alright, give me one moment here. I'm checking something. Alright, here's what we're gonna do. I'm going to download the audio to this real quick. I will run it through a spectrogram and see what we can see. So I've got the spectrogram up right here. Let me see if I can pull the audio from this. One sec. Because yeah, I know that I heard the audio thing that you were talking about as well. Let's see if I can get... Let's see if I can extract the audio. One sec. I didn't get one. I'm using a web-based one. Alright, it might take a bit to convert this audio, so you guys will have to bear with me. Okay. Alright, so I've got the audio. Now I need to go into my... But the thing is, I had to pull the audio from the entire video. So now I need to go into my editing software and edit out specifically the... just down to that portion. Why isn't my editing software loading? Well, that's strange. Give me one sec, crew. Dude, I have been 50 cents behind this whole time. Oh, it's loading up my other monitor. God damn it, I'm retarded. Oh, well, welcome to the party now, Jake. Time travel on a budget, exactly. Yeah, my editing software is doing environment testing right now, so you have to give me a sec. No, they ain't found me. I use VPN for this shit. They ain't found me. Alright, here we go. New project. I'll be sharing my screen about what I'm doing in just a moment. Okay, here we go. So I'm going to... Well, real quick, I don't want to show off what's in my download folders and stuff just in case. Don't want nothing that could potentially dox me. Okay, there we go. So I've got just the audio file. Now... we are at 124, so... let's see... okay, so right about the 1 minute mark. Well, that makes it easy. Oh, well, yeah, I guess I could have just looked at the massive audio spike. All right, let's export this as an MP. There we go, as an MP3. All right, got that exported. Let's upload the file. Where did I put it? Where did it download to? Hold on a sec. Did it immediately go to my... no, it didn't go to my music folder. Alright, hold on. Let me try this again. Oh my god, that's why. I didn't even think to check the name that I named it. That, okay, I'm stupid.
All the entities are freaking out. The system can't handle all of this. Turn off the power. Sir, do it!
Well, that's what that said. Let's play that one more time. Let's read it back and see what that said.
All the entities are freaking out. The system can't handle all of this.
Alright, so all the energies are freaking out. The system can't handle all this.
Turn off the power. Sir, do it! Can't handle all of this. Turn off the power. Sir, do it!
Alright, turn off the power and then do it. Okay. So that is what we got when we ran it through the spectrograph. Good call, chat, that said to do that. That was well done. Hella proud of you guys. All right. So now that we got that out of the way, good job, all of y'all. So this nonsense here, that's what we were hearing. Also, Also, shout out to our man Jake, member for 14 months. Appreciate the fuck out of everybody who turns up for Analog Horror Night. Absolutely. This is such a nice break from the norm to be able to do this sort of stream. I love what we do throughout the course of the week. I do. It wouldn't change it for the world. But I like taking a break to do some other interests.
It is called the electromagnetic.
Yeah. All right, let's run this back. Okay, so we were here, and we can check out more audio stuff in a bit if need be. But let's look through the visuals first. That's a UFO. Yeah, what was that voiceover and the graph and stuff? We'll check all that after this. Yeah, we'll do more spectrogram stuff after this. But this is a UFO. So maybe Vita Carnis is not natural to Earth. Because there we got the Earth. And we got some sort of fucking devil. Okay. Yeah, is this starting to seem more like an alien invasion to anyone else? Always goes back. Yeah, it seems to be. Alright, hold on. So.
It is called the.
Alright, so it's the 117. Alright, so here's what we'll do. Go back into the editing software. We'll do. Delete that. Bitch, get over there.
It is called the electro.
Alright. So we'll cut just that part. Alright, just exported that. Let's run that through the spectrogram. One sec. Which I shouldn't have closed.
It is called.
Oh, I still didn't make out what that said.
It is called.
Has anybody else got any idea?
It is called.
Yeah, I got nothing for what that one could be, unfortunately. Yeah, Klaatu, yeah, I mean, so many analog horrors come up with the idea of aliens. It's so cliche, so ironically, they all go multi-dimension mostly. Yeah, I got nothing. What they're coming out of Abandoned Mines, is the Warp from Warhammer. Alright, let's keep going. Are you gonna do anything? Oh, there you go. Okay.
It is called the electromagnetic spectrum.
Backup power is now on. Systems appear to be stable.
Check the damage and get me eyes down there.
Give me 1 sec. I'm gonna close my editing software now. That way, I can open it back up later if need be. There we go. Oh, god damn it. 1 sec. Okay, get that, get that.
Entering the chamber. Entity seems...
Alright, so the entity is all black, kind of like that, trimmer that won the, that beauty contest. Alright.
Much more active now. Sir, come in. Sir!
Oh, what was that in the corner?
Sir, come in.
Okay, anyway, it was just a shadow.
Sir! I can't tell what you're saying, sir. Please respond. What? What the hell? I can't hear you clear enough. Get out of there! Move out! Now!
Alright, so these... Alright, that looks like the crawl. That looks like a trimming. That looks like a meat snake. I wish... Oh! These are the environmental photos from Season 1. I do remember those. Sorry, so from no infection to worldwide infection. I remember those. Okay, so that's that. Since I did say Jesus, I can kind of hear that, but that could just be audio pareidolia.
The waves reach the antennae and translate it into sound.
Cleaner's been caught in between the set. Oh, what was that? Hold on. Yeah, I don't know that that has any meaning, at least not right now. The cleaner had been caught in between the steps of the ladder and snapped their femur. Ugh. Alright, those images gotta mean something if it happened that much. Is it the same every time? Here, I'm gonna put my mouse right here. And we'll see when it happens again if it's on the same spot. Oh, it does look a little different there, I think. Okay, yeah, so all these black dots and stuff are changing position. I wonder what that means. At the time of the injury, V1 okay, so yeah, it completely snapped. That was what happened to the doc. Completely snapped his leg. At the time of the injury, V1 began to become irritated and extremely active. No personnel were injured following the initial accident. All right. During inspection of the test chamber, one of the guards handled transceivers began to experience interference. Sounds that came from the transceiver were chaotic and random, but there were some lines of coherent speech from both Dr. Tridos and what seemed to be the entity. Neutrinos came up with an experiment to test hypothesis. He had a device connected to the test chamber in an attempt to communicate to the entity. That doesn't sound good.
Hello.
I wonder if the cleaner's suffering affected the entity, or fed it.
Can you hear me? Can you understand what I am saying? Can you hear?
We got subtitles for it now, baby.
Holy shit. What now? What should I say? What are you? What are you? Let's try something else.
The handheld device was switched to one of the devices used for trimming testing and alarm clock radio.
Can you still hear us? Okay. What are you? Can you explain?
Wait, we feel what? Suffer. Okay.
What are your connections to the Vita Carnis species?
Oh, can you, are you guys not understanding or hearing what he's saying? When you say translation, is it not? All right, yeah, here. I'll roll all this part back so that way you guys can hear it again. One sec.
Can you still hear us?
I hear.
Okay. What are you?
We to you.
Can you
we
explain?
To you. We feel, suffer, thrive, purpose. We are.
What are your connections to the Vita Carnis species?
Made to life. Made to pain. Figures. Dancing. Sleep. Feel. Feed. Grow.
These are too big. Try another question. Do you know why you are here? Did you hear us? We aren't getting anywhere.
I think they're putting two and two together. He says, did you hear us? I wonder if he means, did you hear us as in, did you hear humans if you're from outer space? Like, again, via maybe like our satellites, our radio frequencies, things like that. Curious?
What?
These boxes? Yeah, these boxes, devices, or talk.
Are you talking about the radios?
Radio. Radio. Yes. In fact, he said radio. Yes, like after hearing the word multiple times, he confirmed that's what he means. It catches noise.
Radios transmit and receive waves and translate it into sound.
brilliance. Much brilliance. I feel more noise. Can we see more?
Do you want more radios?
No. Yeah, it's in a learning. Whoa, that was a lot. So yeah, it's in a learning state. Correct. All right, let's. All right, go through this part bit by bit here. All right, so you got trimming, and you got okay. So yeah, trimming, not human. More photographs of previously discovered Vita Carnis species. Trimming in bed. Another trimming. This is going over all the times we learned about the Vita Carnis species in Season 1. The meat snake. Alright, so none of this is new information, really, but we'll keep checking just in case. And meat snakes feed on dead flesh. Okay. Alright. So yeah, it's speed running the knowledge of everything from Season 1. So these would be the mimics.
Even the color you see and the sounds you hear are way.
Any of that something we should run through the spectrogram? Hold on.
Do you want?
Nah, because nothing came up with that voice last time.
Even the color you see and the sounds you hear are way.
Sir, is it really in our best interest to give these things what they want? We don't even know what they're looking for.
I understand your concern, but this is the biggest breakthrough we have ever gotten. This may even be the greatest breakthrough of all history. Representatives of the UN will be arriving in just a few days to see our progress. This is...
Alright, so representatives of the UN will be arriving in a few days. Now, we know that the cult that was arrested at the end of Season 1, talked about at the beginning of Season 2, had a bunch of high-ranking politicians and military men. So I would have no doubt that the UN members would also have people in that cult. So this could be a trap.
Too important to stop now. We are on the verge of something massive. If the representatives are impressed, we get the funding to see how far this can go. So, for now, you and the team go and get the orbs what they want. Keep making reports, but keep them quick.
Alright, so keep giving the orbs what they want. So when you said you heard the word orbs, you were correct. And they're just gonna keep giving the orbs what they want.
We need to learn as much as we can in this short time frame.
Yes, sir.
For all future tests with singularities, there will be a radio with a speaker present to allow communication with the entities as well as for personnel to ask questions. Because remember, there's like 7 of these orb entities. During test setup, this is on November 28th. During test setup, we were able to capture singularities communicating to each other. We're working to decipher, but as of now, we are unable to understand what was said. Okay, so they got their own language. This we will run through the spectrogram. Alright, so we are at the, let's see, it starts about... Yeah, that sounds backwards, yeah. Okay, so it started at 9 minutes and 9 seconds. Let me get my software open again. 1 sec. Interesting, there are 7 orbs. The divine number is 7. That is interesting. You are correct. Like reverse mass or something. It doesn't make it good. While they learn, while the scientists learn, the orbs also learn. Exactly. This is the Ian Malcolm quote come full circle. All right, it was at 9:09, I believe. Let me check again real quick. 9:06, give or take. All right, so we'll start here at 9:05. We'll let the audio play out so I know when to crop the edit. That'll probably be the end of it. We'll do a cut there just in case. Okay, yeah. We'll cut there. Go ahead and export this. As an MP3. Alright, let's open the spectrogram back up. Oh no, great, I've still got it up. I will reverse it afterwards if this doesn't work, because you might be right. You might have to reverse it. But if so, I still got the file up, so we can just reverse it if need be. Yeah, alright, hold on. So I'll have to figure out how to reverse it. You'll have to bear with me. I've never reversed audio, because this is my video editing software, so I've never actually reversed audio in it before. Oh, right here. Right-click and reverse. Okay. Let's export this again. Oh, actually, let's just play it if it's reversed. Might need to change the speed on it, but we'll export this as is first. We'll run it through there. Give me one moment. Okay, let's... Hold on, that's not correct. Hold on a sec.
is happening. Happen to us.
Okay, yeah, I definitely heard the how is this happening you're referring to. Let's see if we can change the speed. Let's speed it up by 2 times and see what happens.
How is this happening? Happen to us.
Okay, so I definitely heard the how is this happening to us. Let's slow it down to 0.25. Yeah, slowing it down is not the answer. Speed it up to 8 times. That was too much. We'll try one more at 4 times speed. Yeah, I'm Alright, 1 sec. Let me try one other thing. How is this happening? Happening to us. This is something. How did you do that? Let's see. Man. Alright, let's put it back to the normal speed. Let's see if I can... See if I can use speech to text on it and see if it can find anything.
How is this happening? Happen to us.
Yeah, I'm using an AI speech to text to see if that can give us anything. The only thing the AI speech detection was able to pull up was... Now, I think it's wrong. I think you guys are right. Is how is this happening? And then happen to us. So the rest of it is probably just going to be... I don't know that we're going to get much further than that. But, that is good info. Yeah, no problem, Jake. Happy Yeah, you guys are killing it in chat. Alright, V1 was given several different electrical devices. We attempted to communicate with it, but it didn't speak very often. Only single words out loud, not directed towards anyone. It was more interested with the devices than our questions. So again, I'm going to close my editing software just in case. There we go. Testing questions were repeated with the other singularities. Each singularity acted differently than each other and gave differing answers to the questions, so that's interesting. Although there were a few common factors that each shared, each one has a fascination with electronic devices, especially radio. They were interested in the entertainment like television, radio, and music, especially classical music. During testing with V1's interaction with the television, notable interference was detected with other electronics. V1 also spoke out loud several times. Oh, the couch potatoes. Preoccupied with devices. Alright, I think we have to reverse that one as well. I do. I think we're going to have to reverse that as well. Alrighty. Let's take a look here. Classical has interesting history of being mathematically derived. Yes, that is true as well. Reverse masking was often tied to devil messages in the past. It was a gimmick. It wasn't real, but yes, like the bat masking in music and whatnot was real, as in like it did exist. But it wasn't actually for devil worship and whatnot. It was bands doing it as a gimmick more often than anything. All right, let's find. It's about this section right here. Let's play this in reverse. Does it sound like it's saying Samuel to you guys over and over? Someone's saying Samuel. Samuel. Oh, wait, shadows? Maybe shadows? Yeah, you're right, shadows. That's reverse? Yeah, so I think it's a reverse within a reverse, because like parts of this are not reversed. Sorry for how loud that is, guys. Play with the speed? Yeah, that's what I was going to do next. Speed it up or slow it down? What do you think, chat? Speed it up or slow it down? Is it another language? That's a good question. Check the timestamps between the forward and reverse sections. parts of it are reversed and parts of it aren't. Okay, hold on a sec. I want to test something.
Let us guide the way.
All right, so yeah, we're gonna have to reverse at different intervals.
You are set up. Let us show you. Sir Melvin. Sanos, let us guide the way. Let us show you divine purpose. Divine purpose. Let us sow seeds and watch what grows. What grows. Symbiosis, we join together.
Symbiosis, we join together? Yeah, I'll play it all for you guys in a moment. Like bit by bit, and I'll say it for you.
Together, I am sure this union will benefit all. There has been much learned in our time together. I agree with Dr. Trados. If we continue...
Alright, hold on a sec. So let me try and reverse this again.
Join us. Join us.
Okay, we got it. Alright, well, let's do it all in all of its glory. I'll turn this up for you now that we've got the audio perfect.
Join us. Join us. Join us. Join us. Join us. Join us.
Hold on. Become one, and then something happens there.
Let us guide the way. Let us show you divine purpose. Let us sow seeds and watch what grows. Symbiosis, we join together. I am sure this union will benefit all. There has been much learned in our time together. I agree with Dr. Trados. If we continue...
Problem is, it cuts off if we continue. Damn. So close. Alright, well, because that is where the audio cut in the file. Like, even if I was just to, delete it all and bring it back, I cut it where there was no more audio. So that's literally where it trails off into nothingness. Damn. But we got a lot from that. We got a lot from that. Okay. The static part at the front is what's important. I don't doubt that. Yeah, I don't doubt that for a moment. All right. Let's get back to the actual video portion.
They travel up to 28,000 kilometers per hour.
Last day before representatives arrive after multiple tests with each singularity, we were able to find out each one's personality. V1 neutral, expressing itself, engaged with personnel minimally as possible, only shows interest with electronics and testing. V2, dude, this thing's preoccupied with our broadcast devices because it wants to use the term absorb us into the living meat hive mind. I hope that's not the case. V2 is curious in nature, asks questions often, descriptive in its wording, eager to engage in testing. V3 is more active, engages with personnel in a detached manner rather than one-on-one, engages minimally with personnel. V4, actively engaged with personnel, curious about the personnel and what they are testing, prefers questioning us rather than assuming that's us, unfortunately my spacebar is cutting it off. More expressive out loud than other singularities, although it speaks often, only out loud to itself, has yet to communicate with personnel. V6 rarely engages out loud, only with incoherent noise, doesn't acknowledge personnel, minimal engagement with testing. Least active singularity has shown minimal engagement with all activities except electronics, only engages with other entities, I assume. And then the UN representatives arrive.
This is our main observation room, where we conduct much of the testing on the singularities. As you can see, we are still performing tests. We've learned much from the entities, and if we were to have your support, we can continue our work here. I am sure we can... What is that?
There's something tampering with the microphone and the monitors.
There has been much learned in our time together. I agree with Dr. Trados. If we continue, I am sure this union will benefit all.
Well, that was the part that we couldn't make out earlier. That after if we continue, I am sure this union will benefit all.
Symbiosis, we join together. Let us sow seeds and watch what grows. Divine purpose. Let us show you. Let us guide the way. Join us. Join us. Join us. Join us. Join us. Join us. Become one.
Okay, so even when they clear it up, that static part was still static, though. Makes sense as to why this episode is called First Contact. Damn it, that's the end of it. Well, that means y'all got some shit to look forward to next week. So this was the first half of Season 2 of Vita Carnis. Next week, we have 3 more episodes, and that will wrap up Season 2. This is taking a wildly different turn than what Season 1 took. Season 1 was very found footage. Not that this one isn't, but Season 1 was very, like, world building. And now that the world's been built, this is just putting in all the fucking questions. There were meat steaks falling reborn. You may have been late, but there were actually there was plenty of meat steaks early in the episode. Yeah, I saw none of this coming either. I am engrossed in this. I am quite the fan of where this is going. And we will follow up on it next week. Let me see if Zax is still streaming. If he is, we will raid into him right now. Damn, that was a solid... We were doing this for almost 2 fucking hours. That is awesome. If you were there, would you try to talk to the thing? Yeah, honestly, I probably would. I honestly probably would. Because, I mean, it doesn't, seem inherently malicious right now. Good, Zax is still alive. Excellent, we're going to raid him. It seems ominous, but not inherently malicious. So, yeah, I probably would try. Alright, crew. Thank you so much to everybody that donated. Thank you to all the new memberships, all the new subs. We jumped like 10 subs or something over the course of today. Like, it's been awesome. If not more. Actually, I think we could join like 20 subs over the course of the day. You guys are amazing. We are going to, Scotty's correct. Make sure you like the stream, please. That would be incredible. Don't go anywhere. There are still 54 of you guys watching. We're going to raid into our boy Zach's. Type in Vital Idol Raid. And until next time, it's all here in the Nerdosphere. And this has been Words of Paradise. Great show tonight, crew. Chat, you were awesome. Vital Idol Raid.